So, what is up guys, Marvin here, welcome back to my channel, and today, as you can see from here, we're gonna be talking about caffeine. Specifically, we're gonna talk on the first part, what is caffeine and what it does in our body. And the second part, we're gonna be talking a little bit about the pharmacology of this compound and how to effectively use it. So let's start with saying what is caffeine. Okay, caffeine is this compound right here that you can see. The name comes from coffee, obviously, because that's where it was first synthesized from, and it is also present in tea and cocoa. As information, this is the molecule of caffeine, and it kind of looks like adenosine, and that's exactly the reason why it works. So in the brain, we have receptors called adenosine receptors, and they bind adenosine. What is adenosine? Adenosine is a molecule that is produced with brain activity. We think, we move around, we do all kinds of activity, they're gonna produce adenosine. So we start off the day and adenosine kind of increases. So in the evening, when adenosine levels are at the max, they're gonna bind a lot to adenosine receptors. You feel tired and you're going to sleep. Now what happens here is caffeine, it looks like adenosine, so it's gonna block these receptors. So these receptors, they're located on some neurons that have the job, let's say it like this, to kind of break your brain, okay? So adenosine binds to it, and these neurons, they're gonna send a signal that's gonna be like, okay, calm down, shut down brain activity, and you're gonna feel tired, right? Now when caffeine is on this, it blocks them, so we're not gonna have that braking system. So what's gonna happen? Your brain activity boosts up. It's gonna suppress your appetite because caffeine, it stimulates adrenaline, so it's gonna higher your blood sugar. Funny fact, the half-life of caffeine is 6 hours. So you can say after 6 hours, the caffeine in your blood gets half the amount, but we can say the effects, they actually take 4, maybe 5 hours, not much more. So this was the first part, and let's get straight into the second one. So that was the first part of the video, a quick introduction to caffeine and how it works. And now I'm going to explain to you guys how to properly use caffeine to really get that kick and boost your mental but also your physical performance. What I recommend personally, take it in pills. Pure caffeine pills like this, and not from coffee. It has some anti-nutrients like tannins and blocks the absorptions of vitamin and proteins. So that's already a good reason not to drink coffee. But another thing is coffee, when you take it from the plant, it's green. But we all see the coffee we have at home is black. Why is that? It is because it gets kind of burned with no oxygen with a process that's called torrefaction, I think. And what happens in that? We're gonna produce all sorts of nasty compounds that you don't want into your body. We all know it. You drink a cup of coffee, your stomach aches, and you need to go to the toilet. Why is that? It's because it's a poison. It's full of shit, and the body doesn't want it inside of you. The difference with caffeine pills is we're only gonna have caffeine, and we're not gonna have all the bad substances that come with coffee, you know? Why are you drinking coffee in the first place? To have caffeine result. What does the FDA say? Food and Drugs Administration, maximum 400 milligrams a day. You should be safe. What do I say about it? Yeah, you could do it. I already did something like 3 pills in a day. Mental, guys, it's mental. It seems like you have done cocaine, I swear. Now, 1 pill every 4-6 hours. Why is that? The half-life of caffeine is 6 hours. So after 6 hours, the caffeine is gonna be half into your blood. So what we want to do to maintain that high level of caffeine and feel sharp, have a faster metabolism, be stronger, you take one every 4-6 hours, not more, guys. And after 4 p.m., I would recommend not taking it because you're not going to sleep. Not more than 3 days in a row. You should not take caffeine for more than 3 days in a row. Why is that? We're gonna analyze this in the last part of the video. But it is because after 3 days, the first signs of tolerance start. So it's not gonna be as effective and you're gonna start to be addicted to it. So don't do it, please guys, not more than 3 days in a row. If it's an emergency, do 4, do 5, but not more than that. Caffeine, it's gonna suppress your sleep, you're not gonna feel tired. But you should get your sleep in. Caffeine is not a sleep pill, okay? You're tired. If you're tired, it means that you need sleep. If you take a pill that gets rid of your need of sleep, you're not going to feel better. In the short term, yeah, but in the long term, it's gonna destroy your brain, your body, because you need sleep, you need recovery. The last thing is drink water. Caffeine is a molecule that's gonna make you lose more water because one way the body gets rid of it is through the kidneys, so it's gonna make you pee more, for example. So you're gonna be losing a lot of water, so remember to drink water when using caffeine. You can see how to use it now. I could say when to use it. Caffeine is optimal if you want to lose weight. Why? Because it suppresses appetite. So you can use it, for example, for fasting. For example, you're not gonna get hungry during a fast if you use caffeine. Or you can use it for endurance, for example, running, because it's gonna stimulate adrenaline, so you're gonna burn more fat, you're gonna be more energetic. You can use it for example, powerlifting or bodybuilding, because it's gonna give you more strength, because it's a stimulant, okay? It stimulates your central nervous system, so you're gonna have much more strength. And another thing you can use it, obviously, studying. Studying is really something where you need a lot of brain activity, and the fact that you're biohacking your brain into removing that braking system, you're gonna be able to study much more, and that is really helpful. You can use caffeine to treat depression. You know, this is a big claim of me, but listen up. If you have 1 day or 2 days where you're feeling kind of bad, low, you can kind of abuse for a day caffeine. That's gonna higher your dopamine levels like crazy, your adrenaline levels, and it's gonna boost your mood. This is a temporary solution. You should not do it for a long time. So this was the second part, how to use it. And now if you want to know why I told you these things, we're gonna jump into the last part. That's gonna be pharmacology and kind of understand how tolerance and addiction works. Here's the last part of this video. It's gonna be pharmacology. Nobody tells you this shit. I'm not the first one on YouTube. Other people probably already told you this, but you don't find this shit on a label of a coffee packet, okay? Let's start with this. Caffeine is a xenobiotic. What does that mean? It is not found naturally in our body, and the body wants to get rid of it. Caffeine also destroys our body homeostasis or balance. It's gonna put you in a state of overstimulation that is not normal. The body is not stupid. It doesn't want to be always overstimulated. So it is gonna take some adaptation. And those are receptors upregulation and an increased hepatic metabolism and kidney excretion. What does this mean? Let's say we have 10 adenosine receptors. Normally, what happens, the body releases 10 adenosine molecules, so we're gonna have all 10 receptors are full and we work perfectly fine. Now what happens, caffeine comes into our body. It binds to all 10, it doesn't happen usually, but it binds to all 10 of the receptors. So now we have 10 useless receptors and 10 molecules of adenosine that just fluctuate around with no metabolic effect. So the body's gonna be like, you know, I produce the adenosine, I have the receptors, but it's nothing is happening. So the body's gonna do one thing that is called receptors upregulation. It's gonna multiply the adenosine receptors. So now I have 20 receptors instead of 10. So now 10 are gonna be covered with caffeine and the other 10 can take the adenosine. This doesn't happen overnight. It starts to happen after 3 days, and after 21 days, you're completely tolerant. You can take all the caffeine you want, it's not gonna do shit. Plus, since you have upregulated your adenosine receptors, you have more adenosine receptors, and usually the body also produces more adenosine. When you take out the caffeine, what's gonna happen? You're gonna have much more adenosine receptors, much more adenosine, so the braking effect that those receptors give, it's gonna be much higher, making you feel tired, moodiness, cognitive impairment. You're gonna be more stupid. That's insane. That's really why you don't want to develop tolerance. This is really the fact that you have to understand, is that it changes your brain. Caffeine really changes your brain. So we all have that one guy that says, I need my coffee in the morning, or I'm gonna feel like shit, I'm gonna have a headache, I'm gonna be tired. That is because the body needs the caffeine, because it has adapted to function normally with caffeine. So you're not gonna get a boost anymore, but you're just gonna be in a normal state. Another thing that the body does is it's gonna increase the capacity of the liver to actually destroy caffeine. It's gonna be more efficient into getting caffeine out of your body. Most people are tolerant or addicted to caffeine, and nobody's gonna tell them that. Coffee companies, they just wanna sell their coffee. They're gonna tell you that it's really good for you, but you can open up a toxicology book and tell me if you find one component that is good into coffee. Please don't drink coffee, and if you need caffeine, take it as pure pills. And remember the things that I said to you in this video. So obviously I've written here side effects. If you have any of those, you should probably cut out caffeine and don't do it cold turkey. Just lower the doses regularly and go to 0, and then stay to 0 for at least 1 month to be completely resetted and have that nice feeling of being high on caffeine when you take it. Side effects are tiredness, moodiness, and cognitive impairment. If you've been feeling really tired, usually you're really irritable, and you have a cognitive impairment, so you can't study that well anymore, you're not that fresh. It could be that you're abusing caffeine, okay? So as all the drugs, not drugs in particular, but medicines, for example, it really has a graph where for a certain time it really helps you out, but after a while it just destroys your body. This is what I had to tell you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. It is probably a little complicated and not built very well, but I hope you guys understood the main principles, and let me know in the comment if you like it, and see you guys in the next one.